Hello and welcome to Physics with Amol sir. So this video is for class 10th and today we are going to start with a new chapter, that is Human Eye and the Colourful World. So it's a very interesting chapter and a very important chapter. Okay. So here we are going to talk about the working of our human eye. Okay. And we will see some of the defects of this eye and also some of the corrections that we are doing for these kind of defects. Okay. And as I said, it is very interesting as well as very important because this will help us to understand our own body. Okay, so let's begin. So our human eye is roughly a spherical shape. Okay, size is around 2 to 3 centimeters. Okay, for different people the size will be different, but around the diameter is 2 to 3 centimeters. Okay, so it looks something like this. Okay. This is the diagram from your textbook as well. Okay, afterwards from your textbook you will make the same diagram in your classwork notebooks. Okay, so first, as I said, it is a spherical shape. Okay, that is our human eye. Then there is a covering on our human eye for protection. That covering is called as cornea. Okay, so the function of cornea is to protect the eye from dust. Correct, because it can harm the other parts. So therefore there is a covering of cornea over the eye. Cornea is a very thin membrane. Okay, it is very easy to damage the cornea also. That is why we never put any sharp objects in the eye. Okay, if any sharp object goes, the cornea gets damaged. Okay, so that is the first part, that is cornea. Next, you will see here you have a lens. Okay, we have a crystalline lens and that is a convex lens. Okay. Now here previous chapter we have seen the function of lenses. Okay, so our eye also has got a lens and the lens we have is a convex kind of lens. Okay, and you know what is the function of a lens? Okay, a lens can produce real images. So this lens which is crystalline, okay, and it is transparent. So we have a transparent crystalline lens and it is very soft. Okay, you can change and the size can change very easily. Okay. So we have a crystalline lens, that is our lens of the human eye, okay, and it is convex in shape. So function of the lens is to produce real images and that is how we are able to see any object, correct? Our lens, okay, the lens in our eye, it produces real images, okay, of any object that you are seeing around you and that is how we are able to see the objects, fine? Then you will see the lens is connected to these muscles. These are called as the ciliary muscles. These that I have shown in red, these are called as the ciliary muscles. These ciliary muscles are attached to our eye, okay, to the lens. The function of the ciliary muscles is to stretch or contract the eye. Okay, they can stretch the lens or they can contract. By stretching the lens, they can change the focal length. Okay, so the function of ciliary muscles is to change focal length of the eyelids. And why we need to change the focal length is to see the different kind of objects. Okay, so when you are looking at objects which are nearby and when you are looking at objects that are far away, the focal length needs to change. Okay, and that task is done by the ciliary muscles. Okay, next you will see here in black that I have shown is something called as the iris. Okay, so if you see your eye, okay, the color that you see, that color is given by the iris. Okay, so iris is basic. The function of iris is two things. There is an opening in the iris and that opening is called as the pupil. Okay, so iris, first thing, they give color to the eye. So when we say a person is having blue eyes, basically that person is having blue color of iris, or person is having brown eyes, so the iris is having the brown color. Okay, but giving color is not the task of the iris. They can adjust size of the pupil. Okay, now what the pupil does, you can imagine the pupil is like a window. Okay, so if the iris becomes large, okay, if the pupil becomes large, more light can come in. Okay, and if it becomes smaller, then less amount of light will come in. Now when do we need this? Imagine you are in a dark room where only small amount of light is there. Correct? So your eye understands that the amount of light is very less. So it will start to enlarge the pupil so that more light can come in. But let us say we are going outside and it is a lot of sunlight is there. then the size of the pupil will become smaller. Okay, all this is done by the iris. So our eyes are very smart. Okay, our brain understands whether there is lot of light or less amount of light, and by that it adjusts the size of the pupil. Okay, so we have the iris which gives color, and the opening of the iris is called as the pupil. Fine. Then here on the back side you will see the retina. Retina is basically a screen, imagine. Okay, so whatever image our lens is forming, that image gets formed on the retina. Correct? So whenever we are looking at any object, actually the image has been formed on the retina. And the retina is connected to our optic nerves. Okay, so what they do, they convert the light energy into electrical energy. Okay, and that electrical signal goes to our brain. So whenever we see any object, what is happening is light is coming through the pupil, passing through our lens, and it is falling on the retina. Okay, then that retina is sending all that image to the optic nerve. Okay, and here what happens, they convert the signal. So light energy gets converted to electrical energy, and by the optic nerves that goes to our brain, and we are able to see the objects. So I hope the basic structure and function of the human eye was understood. Okay, now I am going to share the class notes with you. Okay, for the chapter of light and the chapter of human eye as well. From these class notes you are going to write the first question, that is explain the structure of the human eye and its different parts. Okay, and you are going to make the diagram. You can make a diagram like this, or you can make the diagram directly from the textbook. Fine. From exam point of view, this particular question will be very important. If there are any doubts, please don't forget to ask. Thank you.